wake of this past Monday's deadly Boston Marathon bombings, these last few days have been marked with sadness, grief, and prayer. Terry Hegarty traveled to Boston in the aftermath of this tragedy to see how the faith and willpower of people has overcome this very dark event.
Last Monday, the 117th Boston Marathon, a world-renowned sporting event, was marred by a deadly act of violence, which shook the people of Boston and the nation. 3 people were killed and more than 180 were injured when 2 bombs went off near the finish line on Boylston Street. Eric Pratt, a U.S. veteran, was just a few blocks away from the finish, watching the race.
I was stunned. I didn't even realize what was happening until, all the emergency crew, all the emergency, we saw people just running away, scared, and I had no idea. I was over, I was in Iraq, I've seen IEDs blow up, I've heard them before and stuff, and it didn't even dawn on me until after, after the fact, and it was complete chaos.
Following the chaos, recovery began, and people across the city and the region turned to God for support. Tim O'Leary attends Mass daily on Beacon Hill at the Paulist Center.
I'm a great believer in prayer. I pray when I'm feeling bad for myself. I pray when I'm looking for something for myself or for members of my family. And when I go through an experience like this, I find prayer is a source of comfort. But today's prayer is basically directed to those people who are injured and killed and their families.
Another local worshiper says that there are plenty of reasons to seek help from God.
I think it is a time when you should turn to God and try to find some peace.
Father Bill Hamilton, director of the Office of Worship for the Diocese of Springfield, serves as chaplain for the Massachusetts State Police and for the New England region of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Father Bill says that agents and others mostly just need someone who will simply listen to them.
There are no answers to a lot of this stuff. Evil has always existed, but I think as Pope Francis just stated a little while ago, we have to overcome, that evil with the good, and we see tremendous good. This is how God works. Tremendous good comes out of horrible circumstances.
People who were affected, especially at the scene, need to be reassured that prayer can help them.
Prayer is healing. Prayer allows us to give our innermost emotions and thoughts to the one person who can heal this, and that is Jesus Christ himself, or if it's someone who believes in God. But we bring people of different faiths together so that we have a common bond and a common experience. And that's one of the greatest things. Since this all occurred, people have been praying.
Whether it's through candlelight vigils, masses, or interfaith gatherings like the one held here at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, people from Boston and far beyond are expressing their need to make sense of such senseless violence. More than 2,000 gathered inside the Cathedral of the Holy Cross on Thursday morning to pray and to mourn.
Monday's events are a challenge and an opportunity for us to work together with a renewed spirit of determination and solidarity, and with the firm conviction that love is stronger than death.
Among the many dignitaries were President Barack Obama and the First Lady.
For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but one of power and love and self-discipline.
Father Bill says that as talented and as strong as law enforcement and public service professionals are, they still need to take care of themselves.
We have such wonderful people working in law enforcement who are out there every day putting their lives on the line for us. And my job is to make sure they stay on the line of duty, because their expertise, their training, and their experience is what we need. And we have to keep them healthy and on the job.
And for him, being on the job recently has meant praying even more.
My prayer life has been far more intense the past couple of days, just being able to be present and to be a soothing and healing presence among the people. And when we come together, we know we are not alone. And when we know we are not alone, we also know that God is present there with us. And that's the peace that God gives that, as the scriptures say, surpasses all understanding.
The shock and horror of the marathon bombings left Boston and the nation shaken. But one thing that's been clear over the last several days is the strength of the resolve and the faith of the people of Boston and beyond. Reporting for Reel to Reel from Boston, this is Terry Hegarty.